Hello fellow gamers, I'm Christopher Chrisman of Retro Game Network, and coming up next, a look at last week's retro video game news on the RGN Files for the week ending Saturday, July 6, 2019. In the RGN Files this week, EastNet has announced that the digital version of the upcoming and highly anticipated Shenmue 3 will be exclusively available via Epic Games for the first year. This has original Kickstarter backers concerned, as some of the early supporters from 2015 were promised a Steam key for the game upon its release, which will now be delayed by 1 full year. According to EastNet, they had originally planned for the game to be available on the Steam platform from day one. However, this was changed with a partnership agreement with Epic Games and Deep Silver. Those that supported the original Kickstarter now have the option to obtain the game in 4 different methods: a physical PC package with an Epic Store key, a digital PC package with the Epic Store key only, a physical edition on PS4 on disc, as well as a digital PS4 edition, which will be granted via a PlayStation Network voucher code. Those that select the PC option will also have the option to request a Steam key that will be made available after the first year that the game is available. It should be noted, however, that those that select the physical PC version will not get a disc with the actual game code on it, but rather a physical disc that will only include the Epic Store installation program. Early backers that do not find this acceptable are being offered a refund, and details in regards to these such refunds will be made available to the public in the near future. Those that did not support the game in the beginning but are looking to obtain the title after its release will be able to purchase the title on PC or PlayStation 4 in both physical and digital flavors on November 19th. In addition, this is a reminder that Limited Run Games will also be releasing an exclusive collector's edition of the game on that same date. Last Friday, pre-orders for the upcoming 25th anniversary edition of Corpse Killer began taking place from Limited Run Games. The title, which has been developed by Screaming Villains, was originally released for the Sega CD back in 1994 and was developed by the same people behind the recent Night Trap and Double Switch remasters. A good number of changes have been made for the new release, which is in reality based on the Sega Saturn port, which has been known to be the superior of the original Sega CD version. In the game, zombies are now also completely randomized and are in some cases brand new to this new edition. In addition, falling power-ups have been scaled down to avoid frustration by the player. Saving your game is now done automatically throughout playing the game, so saving via the form of data pods is no longer necessary. The scoring system is also now an in-game currency system that is known as data points, where you will be able to use them to unlock bonus content, including 300 production images and over 6 hours of behind-the-scenes video footage. Both Standard and Collector's Edition for the PlayStation 4 were made available, with the Collector's Edition including a full-color, behind-the-scenes booklet with never-before-seen production photographs. In addition, this version also includes the full script of the game from its Project Manpower days, the original soundtrack on 2 CDs, as well as a double-sided poster. The Collector's Edition, however, sold out within 1 hour of its availability. Both the Standard and Collector's Editions also have the potential of receiving original memorabilia from the game, such as original 3DO copies of the title or production videotapes from digital pictures themselves. The Standard Physical Edition is available for pre-order until July 19th, sells for just under $30, and should begin shipping out by this coming September. Last year, we reported on the news of an upcoming retro video game streaming service called Antstream. The service has officially launched as of the 1st of the month and is now available for use within the United Kingdom. The new subscription-based virtual product allows customers to stream classic arcade games, home console titles, and retro computer games online using a computer, smartphone, or tablet. The founder and CEO of Antstream is Steve Cottram, who worked in development for the 3DO platform in the mid-1990s. For the most part, the games that are available since the launch are more focused on computer ports, including titles released for the Commodore Amiga, C64, and the British favorite, the ZX Spectrum. However, a collection of arcade titles and a handful of Sega Mega Drive games are also being offered on the service. Among some of the popular offerings that are available or planned include games from companies such as SNK, Codemasters, Jalico, Data East, Llamasoft, Technos, and Epics, among others. Antstream has a larger collection of games that will be added to the lineup at regular intervals, with those behind the service stating that over 2,000 games have been officially secured. The service is currently available at a cost of just under £10 per month. However, gamers can pay for an entire year of service for just under £96, saving a total of £24 over the regular monthly fee. The application that is required to take advantage of Antstream is presently available for the PC and Macintosh computer platforms alongside of Android devices, with iOS and Xbox options becoming available in the future. The service is presently offered only to residents of the United Kingdom. However, other parts of the world will soon have access to Antstream at a later date. This past week, we at Retro Game Network highlighted 3 stories about original homebrews and ports for computers and retro consoles. Leading those stories this week comes to us with the news of an unofficial port of the arcade classic Berserk, which brings the game to the Nintendo Entertainment System for the very first time. Originally produced by Stern Electronics back in 1980, in Berserk, the player, also known as the humanoid, must destroy all of the robots by using his laser gun without touching the deadly walls, colliding with a robot, or getting hit by any of the lasers that have been fired by the robots. After all the robots have been destroyed, you then must escape through an open doorway before the invincible Evil Otto appears. The original arcade coin-op also had voice synthesis that would mock the player or provide audible information. During the game's original arcade lifespan, it was offered in home conversions for Atari and Vectrex systems. However, up to this point, no NES port had been produced. The new unofficial conversion was accomplished by a new independent video game developer known as Perrysoft, who has emulated the look and feel of the original arcade cabinetry. In this new version, you can select between fast and slow laser modes, and the mazes and enemies are generated as well as react in the same manners as the original. The NES version of Berserk can be played by up to 2 players simultaneously and also offers robotic voices exactly like the original arcade machines, which is a first for any of the home ports. Your purchase of the game gets you a virtual ROM image, which can be used on your choice of NES or Famicom emulation programs. It has also been tested successfully on various flash cards for use on original Nintendo branded equipment. The cost of the NES port of Berserk is just under $2, and there are currently no known plans to release a physical version of the title. Cytronic Software, a company that is no stranger to the Commodore 64 homebrew community, has released a brand new title for the classic computer platform called Precinct 20 Dead Strange, which is based on a novel of the same name. The game, created by Alf Yanev, with music by Richard Bayless, is a 2-part scrolling mystery horror game where you play the part of a detective that is trying to solve a series of murders that have been carried out by an evil cult, which may or may not be supernatural in nature. A figure known as the Birdman slays people and pecks out the eyes of his victims, while a stalker that is only known as Slenderman preys on lonely pedestrians. The game features moody film noir-style graphics that offer a selection of jump scares, just like cult classic horror films of the past. The soundtrack not only includes a score, but it is also made even more unsettling with a variety of screams and eerie heartbeats. The game is offered as a digital download that is compatible with Commodore 64 emulators and can also be loaded onto original or cloned Commodore 64 hardware. In addition, physical versions are also available on a C64 compatible cassette tape, which includes a plastic shell case with a glossy color inlay card. A budget disc edition features a 5¼ floppy alongside of a printed instruction booklet. Finally, a Premium Plus diskette version is being presented on a 5¼ floppy with full-color double-sided artwork and a clear plastic case alongside of the instructions. Please note that all the physical versions of the game are only compatible with PAL-based Commodore machines. Digital downloads sell for just under $2 American, while the cassette and basic diskette versions cost just under £7 and the premium disc versions sell for just under £14. Physical editions are scheduled to be shipped out by the end of this month. And finally this week, one of the most unique video game homebrew titles that has ever graced the Apple II was recently released with a new game called Raccoon City: Toronto Raccoon Simulator. In an era where such simulations of functions, people, historical events, and animals are becoming more and more commonplace in the video game world, this new title brings these types of games to Apple's legendary system. Raccoon City is the creation of an independent video game developer from Canada by the name of Jesse LaFleur, with illustrations and graphical sprite development being completed by Emily Finn. In the game, you get to experience a 12-hour night shift in the life of a Toronto raccoon. You wander around actual Toronto city streets and the dark back alleys of the town, all the while looking for some trash to eat. While you're scavenging, you will encounter other natural wildlife, such as skunks, pigeons, and fellow raccoons, each with a unique personality and home base. The game is available in various editions, with the standard version getting you a physical copy of the game on an Apple II compatible audio cassette that includes a standard tape case. You will also get the manual and a printed map alongside of a tape image that can be played on an Apple II emulator. In addition, a special deluxe edition will get you everything previously mentioned, however, a deluxe illustrated manual, button badge, as well as some stickers. Digital-only versions of the game are also available for purchase, including one edition with just the game for use on emulators, and another one that includes the game alongside of digital manuals and maps. The game has been released under the Ready label, programmed in AppleSoft Basic, and will require any Apple II model with at least 48K of RAM. Digital editions start at just $3, whereas the deluxe physical edition sells for $20. That's it for this week's edition of the RGN Files. For those listening on BGM on FM, please stay tuned. There'll be more music coming up shortly. For complete details of any of this week's stories, visit RetroGameNetwork.com. And don't forget to check us out on our social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Retro Game Network, and on Twitter and Twitch at RetroGameNet. For the RGN Files and Retro Game Network, I'm Christopher Chrisman. This week's news story sourced by the following: Antstream, Apple Fritter, Indie Retro News, Limited Run Games, Megavisions, Screaming Villains.